Yeah, some people just, I don't know. When you interview rappers, some people, I mean, a few times.
No, I know you done it for like rap, well,
some rap dudes are like stupid about interviews.
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes they don't want you to ask certain questions, or they want to only talk about certain things.
Oh, I mean, I don't give a fuck.
Alright,
Whatever.
Alright, cool. So, explain that title.
Man, basically, the Weapons of Our Ancestors was basically me just, when I was traveling back and forth from Mexico, I got really in touch with my roots. So it was just really looking for that, you know what I'm saying, talking about me being an extension of my ancestry and kind of showing what I can do, have a voice. Not necessarily like weapons as far as physical, more like spiritually, you know what I mean? Like I'm a voice for my ancestors, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's like an extension of it.
Okay, and how does that play out through the music?
Well, through the music, I mean, it talks about certain like aspects as far as being an immigrant in America. So, like being here and being kind of like quote unquote alien, or you know what I'm saying, not being from America, I'm just speaking my voice of what it is to be an immigrant in America in 2017. So that's really what that was pretty much like the fuel for the album. Also with things like as far as other influences is like movies, music, you know what I'm saying, like I was watching The Matrix, Ghost in the Shell, and just listening to like even albums like Deltron 3030, where it's more like a dystopian kind of like society kind of thing. So it was like all those things combined, and just and then also with the beats, that's really what spoke to me at the time.
So we're gonna piggyback off that dystopian thing you were just talking about. So that's kind of something I picked up on one of your jams where you said, and forgive me if I fucked the line up, but it was something like, I sing a song in broken English before we get embedded with
coded digits.
With coded digits. So is that like you speaking on the future?
Yeah,
Okay, so explain that, because I thought that was a dope line.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like I see everybody with a barcode soon, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking about microchips and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Also with technology, the phone with the face scanner, it's just like all the information, like there's no more privacy. Your shit's gonna be everywhere now. As far as technology is concerned, it's reaching to certain like limits, past limits where like we can't even see now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole different world out there. Like a virtual reality kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Okay. Is that something that you've been thinking for a while, or is that something that kind of popped in with the current climate that we have going on
the current climate, and then just also going back to my roots, I also met somebody in Mexico, like this lady who's very like kind of creepy with the psychic shit. You know what I'm saying? She told me about, she was a hardcore believer of the Matrix. She was like, you need to really like that, the type of shit that they talk about and the ideology is something that I see happening in America, where people are disconnected and more in tune with just like you know what I'm saying, being stuck.
Yeah.
So I kind of dwelled into that, you know what I'm saying, and I was just obsessed with that idea, and that's where like all the ideas for all the songs came to play from just that small little conversation I had with her. You know?
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
So on one of the songs, your single, you said something along the lines of Tupac raised me, Tupac made me, Tupac shaped me, something like that. So if somebody had to ask you, who else has influenced you, especially with this album, rap-wise, who would you tell them? You can give an easy top 5, make it nice and simple for you.
I mean, as far as top 5, I always got my top 3 that never changed. That's like, as far as Mos Def, Eminem, Tupac, Nas, and then the 5th one always changes. I'd be like DMX or sometimes Raekwon the Chef from Wu-Tang, because I just like the way they rap is just like I can tell it's still lyrical, but they don't put too much thought where it's like overly wordy. You know what I'm saying? It's not too much. Like they just say whatever feels good, but it makes sense. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So those are my top 5. As far as for this album, it wasn't just rap, to be honest. You know what other album also influenced me? Radiohead's OK Computer. When I heard that, I was like, man, I want to make this into like a rap album version, like see what it would sound like. You know what I'm saying? Kind of have my twist onto it. And also I was thinking about an album where an immigrant would be like the protagonist in a futuristic kind of setting. You know what I'm saying? And what he would see and what the type of discrimination he would still face during that time. That's kind of like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like,
that's kind of dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just top 5 rap artists that influenced you. You were looking at other.
Yeah, I was looking at other influences. Yeah, definitely. As far as sound, you know what I'm saying? 9 Inch Nails too. I was also into them. Yeah, man, you put me on the spot right now, but I can't.
That's what I'm here for, right? That's my job.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just movies and music and art. You know what I'm saying? And just I started meditating. Like I don't know, it was weird. It was like a combination of things. I know it sounds like a whole bunch of things, but that's really what made the album. It was like experiences, movies, music, you know, finding myself, you know, obstacles that I was facing in the song Changes. I talk about overcoming my nervousness, anxiety, and shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying? It was a combination of all this.
Okay, so conceptually with this album, because you don't talk about the standard rapper shit, bitches, hoes, cars, money.
Nah.
You don't talk about any of that. So would you consider yourself a conscious rapper? Or do you even pay attention to titles like that? And you're the first conscious rapper I've ever gotten to ask that question to. Because most conscious rappers are all like uptight and they don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Honestly, not really. Like when I write, I'm not thinking like I gotta write like a conscious rapper. No, it's like I just write whatever I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever the instrumental is like telling me to do. Like I really kind of like let myself be a slave to the music and just let the pen like go off. I wasn't really overthinking certain. There's a couple of songs, you know what I'm saying, where I was really studious and kind of thinking, but I wasn't really like trying to do too much, overthink it, like my last projects. You know what I'm saying? I was really trying to find myself as far as my voice with this album.
It's funny you say that. You're saying that you didn't overthink this album as much as you did your last projects?
Yeah, as far as writing.
That's funny because it sounds the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. It sounds like not overthinking, but it sounds like you put a lot more time and effort into this one because I mean I like all your other shit, but this one actually sounds like an album. Yeah. Your other shit sounds like a dope rapper rapping. Yeah. This sounds like you sat down and was like, I'm making an album. That's funny that is the opposite. So production-wise, what made you hit Izzo for the beats?
So the first project, the Old Children EP, that's the first project me and Izzo did together. And when we put it together, I always loved the beats that he made. I just felt like they were different. You know, something really told me like, there's many producers out there in Atlanta, but he has a specific sound. You know what I'm saying? He has really mastered his craft. Like he knows what sounds good and what doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And he as far as knowledge, as far as beats and just instrumentals, he's like beyond anybody that I've ever met. You know what I'm saying? He knows what sounds good and what doesn't. So, and his beats are just, as far as tempos, as far as everything, it's just hard hitting. It just sounds grimy. It has that boom bap feel to it, but at the same time, it doesn't sound like the old shit. You know what I'm saying? The old school. It still has that fresh sound to it. So,
Sides was one of my favorite jams on the album. Like the way you crafted it with the two like completely antithetical sides of the spectrum when you're talking about people. Like what was the whole idea behind that? Like what made you write that song? Because I haven't heard anybody do that before.
I was just doing that because every time I go on social media, everybody has right, everybody's on the left, you know, left is right, whether you support people who are, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know what I'm saying, same sex, whether you support it or you don't support it. It was like too much of like back and forth tug of war, and I'm like, we ain't getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It's not about that. It's about trying to find, you're not going to agree with everybody. You know, it's almost impossible. You know what I'm saying? There's like 7 billion people in this world, and everybody has their own opinions. So you multiply that by those opinions, and it's like, how you expect people on social media or just anywhere to really agree on everything? It's impossible. It's not possible. So that was just the idea of just being yourself. Like I named all those things to be like, these are just titles. As long as we don't hurt each other, as long as we, you know what I'm saying, we're able to be mature enough to accept, or you know what I'm saying, or just not really push our own ideologies into other people and just coexist. That was the idea of it. It's just to not worry so much about titles and not being so sensitive about what other people say. You live your life, you be you. You know what I'm saying? That's really the idea for it.
So how do you feel about when those titles kind of leak into your life? Because when you start meeting people who may stick to the far right, and those opinions, especially on how they vote, on the way they act in real life, those might affect you specifically as a person. So how do you feel about that?
I feel that, but I don't know. That's where I look at it personally. I grew up, you know what I'm saying? I grew up being like kind of like isolated. You know what I'm saying? I grew up not really depending or thinking about what the government is gonna do or what passes and what doesn't pass. I mean, I feel sorry for the people who are relying on those type of things where it would affect them. See, but I'm in a position now where I don't like, my music is the only thing I have. So if you take away my music, that's the only thing that will really, you know, incite me to like really want to do something, because that's my freedom. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like things that trickle down to us, I don't know. I can't really say. I can't really speak on like how it would affect me, because I see myself independent. I don't really try to worry too much about what the other guy does. As long as I live my life righteously, I can't really worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Either way, this world is unfair, man. Like everywhere you go, you know what I'm saying? There's no level playing field. There's no perfect, you know what I'm saying, place to live in. Like everybody, there's corruption everywhere. There's fucked up things everywhere. The thing is to just be able to find happiness and not let others affect you.
Persecuted. That's my number one on the
really
shit. Yes, because I'm gonna tell you why. What's funny is when it hit off, I was like, oh, this beat. It's my favorite beat of the whole album. I was like, this beat is fucking nasty. And then when you came in rhyming, I was like, God damn. Like the first couple of bars, I was like, oh shit, this shit is like crazy snapping. So, and the thing that was really dope about it was a bit of a storytelling track. And it's, so what inspired you to do that?
That
was it the beat?
It was the beat. The beat was really like, I didn't know what to do with that beat. I was like, this beat is so fucking sick. Like, I was like, bruh, I don't know how to even approach this.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to make another rap where I'm just going off? Or do I want to tell a story? Like, that beat I really dwelled on for like maybe months, like 2-3 months.
Because I would expect just a bar off beat, like just like some snapping, just rapping about whatever beat. So I thought it was dope that you turned it into a story instead.
Yeah, when I told, that idea, I don't know how it came. It was one of those things that you really don't think about. It just happened. So I was just writing, and I was just like thinking about, again, with the ideology the idea of being an immigrant and just being persecuted, and also with the police brutality and everything that was going on. I was just like, you know what I'm saying? If I make a story, if I just make a song about police brutality and how, you know, minorities are being almost like targeted by the police, like people are gonna be like, okay, this is just song like everybody else. But if I add emotion and I add a story and I make the person who's in the song have a family and have, you know what I'm saying, frustrations that they grew up with, and I incorporate that into a song, it might make people think a little bit more of the idea. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up. Like I grew up with parents like, we drove by the police, you sit up straight. You know what I'm saying? Like
same.
Like you sit up straight. Don't be slouching. Put your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
That's the type of fear that you grow up in as a minority. So I was like, I want to make an action, or like almost like an action side of that. Like what would happen if, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm running from the police. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear, you know what I'm saying, there's gunshots, there's crashes, there's shit going on. It's crazy. Also playing into the I guess the futuristic setting that I was trying to portray with that.
Yeah, that song gave me a feeling like Untitled on Killer Mike's rap album. You know what I'm talking about? It's a jam that was like maybe the second song that leaked from the album, and it's a storytelling track, but it has this super hard beat that you wouldn't expect the story to go over.
Right.
And that's just the same kind of feeling it gave for me, because at first I was just like, oh, he's about to fucking snap. And then when you were rapping the first, I was like, oh, he's snapping. And I was like, wait, he's telling a story. Yeah. That's just not really the idea that I expect to be conveyed on a beat like that. Yeah. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna, like, that shit was just, that was my shit. That was my shit. If there's one central idea that you want people to walk away from with this album, what is it? And don't be like cheesy, like, oh, you know, I just want people to be peace and love, you know what I mean? Like, no, like really, like I could tell you had a purpose when you sat down and you wrote this album. and you can't tell me you didn't. So what
I did it.
I
I just want the $10. You know what I'm saying? I just need the money. I need the money.
I need the money. I just want to rap real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Little easy 10.
No, it's easy 10. I don't know, man. Like not only with this album, but just with me, my presence as far as a rapper, also in Atlanta, just being like, I haven't really seen or heard of much. No, from me personally, I haven't seen that many immigrant or Mexican American rappers tell their story. You know what I'm saying? With the album, I just want to tell my story from my side of what I came from. You know what I'm saying? So that's really I guess that's really what makes me want to rap. You know what I'm saying? That even with the album, you know, I try to make it entertaining, but at the same time, the main focus is I just want to tell my story as a rapper, being Mexican American, coming from, you know what I'm saying, illegal parents, you know what I'm saying, just living here, going to school, and just trying to adapt to the American society. And with me rapping, rap is my only outlet. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm able to do that with that, and they're able to take that away from me, or to take that away from the album, and listen to that and be able to understand that, then that's all really that I ask for people, and also for people to comprehend. For people to comprehend who, like, we are also people who are immigrants. We're not weak people. People like to throw us in a bunch, like, oh, you know what I'm saying, you know, immigrants, and we gotta fight for them, and like they don't have the power to do that themselves. They're not individuals who have passion and art. You know what I'm saying? We are individuals, and we do have the passion or the creativity or the ability to do things on our own as individuals. So that's really what I was trying to do with that one, and I hope people enjoy it for that reason.
Is there any pressure with this being your debut album? Is there any pressure as far as people getting that idea? Because I mean, I know I've talked to a lot of indie rappers, and it's hard to even get a mixtape circulating, let alone an actual official album.
Well, honestly, it was just time. You know what I'm saying? Because I had done too many mixtapes. I had done, you know what I'm saying? I had done The Antagonist. I had A Death from Bethlehem. I had, you know, Telenovela mixtape, but we dropped the EP with Ezo, and then I was just like, it's time. Like I you know, people. I feel like I have producers willing to work. I started doing performances. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I could do the merch, everything. I was like, it's time now for me to actually try to do something where it has a concept. And so I just feel like it was more of the time. You know what I'm saying? It was just really that it for the album.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
That's all I had.
So yeah, appreciate it, Myke.
Man.
Fun.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I get really excited when people I know actually put out good music.